Come, whoever you are welcome here. No matter your age, your size, the color of your eyes, your hair, or your skin, you are welcome here. No matter your gender, whom you love, how you speak, or whatever your abilities, you are welcome here. You are welcome here whether you come with laughter in your heart or tears in your eyes. You are welcome here. No matter what you have experienced in the past, no matter what awaits you in the future, you are welcome here. Whether you believe in God all of the time, some of the time, or none of the time, you are welcome here. This is a community of open minds, loving hearts, and willing hands. Good morning and welcome to South Valley Unitarian Universalist Society. My name is Matthew. My pronouns are he, him. I am a tall white man in a pink shirt with wonderful glasses on. It is my privilege to serve as the worship associate for this service. Our worship leader this morning is Reverend Lora.
Good morning, church. You are awake after that rousing Festal Bread song that I have just come to love every year. We'd sing it every week if we could get away with it, but we can't. Good morning. I am the Reverend Lora. My pronouns are she and her, and I am a tall white woman with very matching purple on today. A purple jacket, purple glasses, and purple lipstick, because I am 50 and fabulous. And now we're just going to take some time to greet one another. Our first greeting is always to our online audience, so I invite everyone here to turn and wave at the camera. Welcome. We are so glad that you are here with us. We are connected in spirit. Even though you can't see us, or you can see us and we can't see you, we know that you're here, and we are so glad. Let's take a moment here in this community of physical space to greet one another, and in the online community, please use the chat box to introduce and check in with one another as well. Please remain standing as you wish to light our chalice. I'd like to invite our chalice lighter and our chalice reader to come forward. You notice that today's words are different from our typical, and that is in honor of our bread communion this morning. For those at home, please enter "Chalice is lit" and the name of your street in the chat box.
We gather here today to share and give thanks, to tell stories and break bread, and be together in holy communion. We light our chalice this morning in the spirit of thanksgiving, with love, hope, and generosity of spirit, grateful for this blessed opportunity to be together.
As we take time to settle into this time and place of worship, let us pause for a moment. This week we will be honoring Transgender Day of Remembrance, and that is a personal and political remembrance for many of us in this congregation. In a climate such as we are living right now, where trans people are under constant attack and fear, daily violence, let us pause and breathe and be together and know that all people are beautiful just as they are, and that we celebrate a kaleidoscope of gender and sexual expressions in this community, and we stand in solidarity and advocacy for all those who have yet to be able to enjoy a full and resplendent life free of persecution. Our call to worship was written this morning by Louise Glück. I've watched you long enough. I can speak to you any way I like. I have submitted to your preferences, observing patiently the things you love, speaking through vehicles only in details of earth as you prefer. Tendrils of blue clematis, Light of early evening, you would never accept a voice like mine, indifferent to the objects you busily name. Your mouths, small circles of awe, and all this time I indulge your limitation, thinking you would cast it aside yourselves sooner or later, thinking matter could not absorb your gaze forever. Obstacle of the clematis painting, blue flowers on the porch window. I cannot go on restricting myself to images because you think it is your right to dispute my meaning. I am prepared now to force clarity upon you. May it be so. And now, I'd like to invite a very special person to the front of the room, James Carlson. He loves it when he gets recognized. Come on up, come on up. So, Mr. Carlson, you have been with South Valley for 25 years. And you have cared for the building and all of its people with such a sense of dedication and care. And we are so grateful for the hard work that you put in every week. We literally would not have this building in this shape were it not for you.
Thank you.
So thank you. We will have cake, your favorite carrot cake, during our potluck. And we did give you a gift earlier this week.
Thank you.
Yes. And I'd like to invite Mac to come forward and say a few words as well, because Mac has known you the entire time, and I've only known you for 6.
Have to get out my notes on old and senile. Those of you who don't know me, I'm Mac Lund, a grumpy old man with gray hair, an awesome wife. Yeah, we were lucky. James, when we needed a new person to help with the building, we didn't really have the help we needed way back when. And James came along, and he took ownership of this building. He knows this building inside out, took ownership from day one. He's got to know everything. We lucked out. He's got the talent, the knowledge, and an amazing work ethic. He's here all hours doing different things. You know, he's behind the scenes. I think people tend to take for granted. It just happens. It's, you know, we have things. I mean, right now, it's something that just little things that change. Anybody notice anything different in this hall? Like maybe the windows? Yeah, James. Just little things like that. Big jobs. When the social hall downstairs, the floor was terrible, and we're like, what are we gonna do? We have to replace this floor. Nope, I'll take care of it. And the floor is great, drop ceiling, it's bright down there, it's beautiful, so he does that. I mean, where would we be? And having been on the board, it's always, James can do it, ask James. James will know. And something needs to be done, go get James. So we get that all the time. I try to think of the best description that I could have for James, and it's hard. I mean, he's a magician. Things just appear or taken care of, but I thought the best way to do it is going back to my childhood. What James truly is great at. It's like going to the circus and seeing that juggler that's on a unicycle on the high wire going through the flaming hoop. That's James. It can be done. And thank you, all the years you've done, and been a good friend too. Appreciate it. Always.
Thank you, Mac. Now let us partake of our communion of bread. To open and close our ritual today, we'll be singing hymn 349. To open it, we'll sing the first verse twice through of 349. You can remain seated as you wish. You can just turn to that. And then we will begin our ritual. We have a table here because we believe in community. We believe in the power of what is when we gather together. We believe in what we have to give and to receive from one another. We are fed in relationship, and the table is our symbol.
We place this cloth on the table because each life is interwoven with every other life. The cloth is our symbol of the love which binds us, surrounds us, comforts us, and covers us.
We place a candle on the table because we believe in the light of faith, of hope, and love. The candle is our symbol of the light and of our flaming chalice, which guides our search for truth.
We place flowers on the table so that we remember to see the mystery and beauty of creation which continually surrounds us. Flowers are our symbol of the grace which springs up into our lives. These flowers may represent the end of the cycle to the eye, but they are robust with seeds and roots that, with the nourishment from the earth, will bring forth beauty, habitat, and sustenance for all earth's creatures.
And these flowers were picked this morning by Alan from our front urban garden. And we place this water, gathered from among us at our water ceremony, reminding us that water is life, that our spiritual selves need refreshment as much as our physical selves, and that in truth, there is no separation between the two except by language and perception. We are embodied, beloved, and whole, yet made more so by our righteousness and our togetherness. Our table is now set. In this congregation at this time, we celebrate our bread communion. This is one of the moments of pause in our year, the others being water, fire, and flower. Each one of these communions has its place in our year, reminding us to hold sacred our bonds with one another. We are connected, and our communion calls us to remember that truly we are one body of humanity. Breaking now this bread, it's my favorite part. We confess our dependence upon, our responsibility for our Mother Earth and the community of life in all its many forms. Breaking this bread, we celebrate our unity with all people. With all the people who have lived upon the earth, who have been warmed by the great sun, who have seen the greening of the spring, who have stood watching wind sweep a field of wheat, and who have tried to count the stars in a cloudless winter sky. Please join me in blessing these loaves together in unison as a community by reading the words either in your order of service or on the screen. We bless these loaves, we bless this bread we have in common with one another and with all people. We bless all the things that feed us, body and heart, mind and soul. We bless these loaves, we bless these loaves, we bless these loaves. At this time, we will share in the communion of bread. In a moment, I'm going to invite maybe 4 volunteers, 5 volunteers to come forward. It's first come, first served, to help us to distribute the bread amongst us. Once you receive your bread, please do not consume it, but take a moment to just sit in silence, to observe its texture, to consider where it has come from, the miracle of soil and water and sunlight and human care that resulted in this particular piece of bread being in your hand at this particular moment in your life. I'd like to invite some volunteers to come forward to pass out the bread. We do have 2 gluten-free trays, so if you need gluten-free, please raise your hand so that our ushers can find you along the way.
Every seed remembers spring planting, memories of warmth and darkness and rich black soil. Every stalk remembers that first growing glimpse of sky, stirring wind, blessing rain and sun's caress. The whole world is green.
Every grain remembers spring, summer, and now autumn, growing gold, cooling air, paling sun, heavy, full, pregnant. Now is the time for harvest. Every loaf remembers all of this, all that has gone before, every hand, every butterfly that touched it, cradles it like an infant and offers it up, rain, soil, sun, seed, stalk, green, impossibly alive as nights grow long and all else withers.
And so life begets life and greater life until the great wheel turns and spring, and spring comes round again.
Now I invite you, has everyone gotten their bread? No, okay. Well, we'll just take a moment to make sure that it gets passed all the way through. Let us now partake of this bread in remembrance of our bonds with one another and the community we co-create. May you be nourished, body, mind, soul, and heart. Let's close our ritual by singing the last verse of number 349. The words are on the screen. We'll sing it twice through. And at this time, our children may also go downstairs to their activities. They will be making butter today.
Our community, our church, and its many ministries are only made possible by the gifts you give of your time, your talent, and your treasure. Many of you pledge monthly to support our work, and for this, we are grateful. Your gifts help to ensure that we are able to live our values of love and justice in the world outside. Part of our ministry at South Valley includes sharing our Sunday worship offerings with a charitable organization that aligns with our principles and values. Currently, we are partnering with Showers of Hope that provides showers, clean clothes, and hope to our unhoused neighbors. Please join me in reading our offertory words. They are printed in your order of service and on the screen. We are this church. We are its hands, its heart, its voice. Together we share the wealth of this community and sustain it with our gifts. We will now accept the offering. For those at home, you are invited to use the giving link in the online order of service. I invite the ushers to come forward at this time.
For all we have found the courage to give, may we be truly grateful. May these gifts be a blessing on South Valley and on Showers of Hope. And Tara and Rick, thank you again for delighting us this morning with your gifts. Yes, I think so too. A few weeks ago, as you may recall, the government shut down, and the delivery of SNAP food benefits was cut off. This followed a drastic reduction earlier in the summer of said benefits. And the rhetoric from our authoritarian leadership was appalling. They played with people's lives, and it made all of us really mad. So thousands of us showed up to try and fill that gap. There were food drives all over the nation in every community. The internet was filled with stories of people buying groceries for one another, of coffee shops giving away free breakfasts, and folks showing up at food banks to help however they could. We demonstrated how interconnected we truly are. This is what humans do. Most often, when faced with a crisis, we jump in to help. This is an enduring feature of human communities. And this outpouring of concern and action made a difference in people's lives, 100%, absolutely. And it still was not enough. People still suffered. People still went hungry. And people are continuing to go hungry. And this is painful. It's a painful reality for us to grapple with. And it can be all too easy to fall back on the trope that the ongoing suffering is because the rest of us simply don't care enough. I am not satisfied with that answer. I think that trope is meant actually to disempower us and divide us so that we are less able to demand an effective and functional government. We are awesome, but we are not a replacement for an effective and functional government system of care. We cannot possibly match the billions of dollars and thousands of people who run the distribution of funds and programming with our small-scale, heroic efforts. A failing government fails us all, and the suffering is highly concentrated. Poverty is a trap. You may have read that over the years. You may have endured that yourself. Poverty is a trap. It's hard to endure, and it's even harder to escape once you are in it, because being poor is extremely expensive. This is a known fact that poverty researchers have been telling us for over 100 years. For example, when a bank refuses to operate in a poverty-stricken neighborhood, people do not have access to banking services, and they often don't have checking accounts. They have to rely instead on check cashing services, which are expensive. If they do have a checking account and then they overdraw their account, which happens when you live close to the line, they are subject to overdraft fees, which can add up quickly as they are assessed for each and every transaction that takes you below a zero balance, generally about $35, even if the original transaction was only $5. So a $5 program becomes a $40 problem, and it grows from there. So to deal with that problem, a person might need then to turn to a payday loan for yet another fee. And this creates a vicious cycle of debt that is so hard to escape from when you and everyone else around you is also struggling. Wealthier people do not have to deal with this. They have a choice of banking options in their neighborhood, free checking, and overdraft protection because they have extra money to put and keep in a savings account should they occasionally experience an overdraft. Sometimes the response to poverty is to tell people to pull themselves up by their bootstraps. I find that high irony because that phrase originally meant to attempt to do the impossible. It's funny how the zeitgeist flipped its meaning and applied it to anyone who is too poor to feed themselves. The zeitgeist now blames folks who work hard for a situation designed to make them poor, so others can be rich. This is what late-stage capitalism has brought to us. It is expensive to be poor. And the rest of us, those with better paying jobs that allow us to be in better neighborhoods with better schools, we are definitely closer to the poverty line than to the extreme wealth of billionaires. Many, if not most people who are employed live paycheck to paycheck. This is variously defined in the research, but easy to identify with, yes? Living paycheck to paycheck is an expression that describes an individual who would be unable to meet their financial obligations if they were unemployed. They always need their next paycheck to pay upcoming expenses. The phrase can also mean living with limited or no savings and refer to people who would be at greater financial risk if they became unemployed or faced a financial emergency, which could be anything from needing new tires to facing a serious medical diagnosis. I have a question for you. Is not that most people's experience in the United States? While the definition of living at or below the poverty line is determined by a specific set of inputs at the national level, and frankly, it's pretty outdated if you ask me, the idea of living paycheck to paycheck is pretty common. Most families require 2 incomes, and many folks have several jobs in order to make ends meet. And the loss of any one of those jobs can make things rough pretty darn quick. Yet we rarely step back and ask, why is that? How can we live in the wealthiest nation on the planet in the history of the world and still feel so stressed and at risk of financial ruin? How can deep, deep poverty exist here when it doesn't have to? It's often been said that the poor will always be with us. In context, it was meant by Jesus to inspire his followers to respond to suffering with compassion, to actually get closer to those suffering and then demand that the world do better. It could be said that that is actually what he was crucified for, demanding a better life for the poor. Yet again, the zeitgeist has flipped its meaning in time, right? So often it is said now to make us understand that we are powerless to solve the problem of poverty. I reject that claim, and I suspect you do as well. I am squarely in the Jesus camp on this one. We are, in fact, the only ones who can solve it. And Jesus is asking us to. And the good news is that in the last 2,000 years, we've learned a lot about what actually works to feed people. I have seen communities across this world come together, not just in times of dire need, but in times of plenty, to gather and to figure out real solutions to the complex problems that we face. And reducing or eliminating poverty is a very tough challenge. It's not impossible, but it's really, really hard because it's complex, right? And yet we spend a lot of time in our culture pretending that somehow it's simple, but it's not. Some of you may know that there's a mega shelter being proposed here in Salt Lake City. And the idea is to put all childless adults who are experiencing homeless onto a single campus. Now, if you just sit with that for just a second, you can immediately recognize that if you know one homeless person, you know one homeless person. You don't know one and think you know all. People become unhoused for all sorts of reasons, and concentrating them tightly into a single campus where they cannot leave, a camp where you're concentrated, is not a good idea. The system of late-stage capitalism that we find ourselves in needs us to be poor so that others can be rich. And that makes it addressing the problem even harder. Our system is literally pitting ourselves against one another, reducing our opportunities to be in collaboration, connection, and solidarity. We have a lot more in common with someone living in a rural area who has voted consistently for Trump than we do with Elon Musk. We have a lot more in common with them than we do with the billionaires of the world. And it's time for us to do our very best to focus on what we can do in this crisis, rather than being spun out by a media circus that would have us remain perplexed, confused, and disempowered. A functioning democracy requires this of us. It requires all of us to contribute for it to work. If we want to build a better government, to do so, we need to respond, yes, to the current crisis as best we can, to resist, to advocate, to vote, to organize, to be in solidarity. But we also need to take the time to reflect, to convene, to collaborate, and to cooperate across all sectors of the society so that the best ideas can come forth. This is not about recreating something from the past. It is about making a space for something new. And I'm here to tell you that convening, collaborating, and cooperating is something that faith communities are really good at doing, especially Unitarian, Universalist ones. We are already, as a congregation and as a faith movement, people committed to doing something really productive about suffering in the world. We educate ourselves, we vote, we advocate, we serve, we all care deeply. This is something that is known about Unitarian Universalists, and we can use that to our advantage right now. We are a faithful and bold people, yes? We have never accepted the status quo of everyday suffering as the best we could do, and the world needs to hear us right now. Back in 1843, Charles Dickens wrote a small story you might have heard called A Christmas Carol. His tale eviscerated the existing political and social structure for its indifference to the plight of the poor and the horrible working conditions that they experienced, especially the reality of child labor in factories throughout London. He was a tireless advocate for the poor and a Unitarian. Dorothea Dix was a prominent social reformer in the 1800s whose work to raise awareness of the plight of individuals suffering from mental illness helped to change hearts and minds and policies and practices about the mistreatment of the mentally ill. She was also a Unitarian. And Arthur Joseph Altmeyer, the father of Social Security. He was the first United States Commissioner for Social Security from 1946 to 1953, and the second chairman of the Social Security Board from 1937 to 1946. He was a key figure in the design and implementation of the U.S. Social Security system, and a Unitarian. So we have always been a people of compassionate actions, committed to following best practices and building the world we know is possible. And we are going to be continuing that legacy this year in this congregation. I hope that you do come next Sunday to our worship service. We're going to have Susan Esegiri and Bob Spicer talk a little bit about what we are currently doing to serve the need in the world, as well as how we can create this space for broader, deeper thinking. It is my hope that as we continue to do this work in collaboration with one another, that the world will begin again and again to understand just how subversive it is to claim that all people are full of inherent worth and dignity. It is our claim and therefore our responsibility to continue to spread this message to the world. Because when we spread that sort of message that you are worthy and you are dignified, it flips the tables. It reveals a deeper truth and reminds us that we are the ones, each and all as individual people and as the collective, we the people, that we are the ones vested with power, not the emperor. Our collective strength is the only thing that can match and respond to systemic failure. And this knowing is what guides our community. And I would even suggest it is what saves us. And I think we need a little saving right now. A little healing, a little saving, a little liberation. And to remember that that is always a collective endeavor. May the land, may the rocks, may the trees, may the breeze, may the birds, may the flora and the fauna, the fishes of the sea, the animals and the insects, and every single one of you rest in that dignity and that wholeness today. And may our efforts be blessed by our shared commitment to a gorgeous earthlinghood and shared humanity. Amen. We'll sing now. Number 121. so inclined, perhaps reach out and hold a hand, or just place your hand over your heart, knowing that truly you are the ones you have been waiting for. Oh, I see, I forgot that announcement. Okay, yes, we'll do an announcement in a moment. Beloveds, God hugs you. That's what Hildegard of Bingen said so many years ago. God hugs you because she is so delighted in how connected you are. Be a blessing today on one another, and amen. And I guess now the Sabbatical team has something they want to say to me.
The Sabbatical team does have something they'd like to share.
Hi, I am Cinnamon Wolf. I'm co-chair with Becky on the Sabbatical team. And so we have a gift to welcome back Reverend Lora from Sabbatical. It is a stole. For those of you who don't know, a stole is a symbol of ordination. So as Unitarian Universalists, our ministers go through a long education and training process before they are welcomed into ministerial fellowship and then ordained. And then we as a congregation call them to be our ministers. And so this is our thank you and welcome back from Sabbatical to Reverend Lora.
That actually wasn't planned. And it's bright and bold. Thank you. It's
Thank you.
gorgeous. Thank you very much. Thank you. All right, please be seated for the postlude.